Okay, okay. Good game. All right. Okay, so this is my first time live streaming, video game or anything else. So, uh-oh. Are we good? Okay. Um, anyway, so this is my first time streaming anything, live stream or otherwise. So if something goes wrong, let me know. I have not announced this, so I don't know if anybody will be watching this live. Um, my name is David Jewell. This is my YouTube channel, which has been somewhat dormant for a little while for various reasons, both global and personal. I have not managed to keep the momentum on making and uploading videos, and that's a whole thing that we don't have to get into here. I do have some videos in the works, but I also thought it would be fun to start streaming some video games and also potentially some like live crafting streams and stuff like that. Caves of Qud is a very interesting video game that I have only played a little bit of. I've played the tutorial twice. I'm gonna go ahead and start a new game here. I played classic mode a little bit, essentially not much more than you get with the tutorial, and I was killed by baboons throwing rocks at me. This is a very text-heavy game. The writing is a big part of the appeal. The graphics are these very sort of old-fashioned, pixel-based, very not inscrutable, but representative graphics that um, they're more iconographic than anything, I guess. Most of what you get from the world comes through text, so I'm going to be reading a lot of text into the stream. So if that's not something that you're into, just be aware that there's going to be a lot of reading in this stream, and probably anytime I stream this game, that'll be part of it. But I don't know, because again, while I know I've listened to some interviews with Jason Greenblatt, one of the main developers, and I know a fair bit about what went into making the game and kind of um, what his thoughts are behind it, um, or at least what he said publicly in interviews. I've barely scratched the surface of it. I think I've actually. Can I switch over to Steam real quick? I've played less than 4 hours, which seems like a lot, honestly. I guess maybe 2 tutorials and then one attempt at a run. Classic mode, at least I know, is roguelike, essentially. There's permadeath. You lose your character uh, when you when you die, and you have to start over. I'm going to be starting with classic mode, and then after I've died to whatever kills me several times, I'll probably dip into roleplay mode to get more of the world. But I want to experiment with character builds and just kind of getting a feel for the world, kind of stepping out into various directions. Wander, maybe. Yeah, but I'll look at these two options, roleplay and wander, at another time. For now, I'm going to start with classic mode. So, random could be fun, but for the first stream, I'm going to start with preset and rebuke robots. Okay, I have a choice here between mutated human, with which you get mutations. You get moderate starting attributes, which seems very Mario in Mario Kart, but you have negative 600 reputation with the Putus Templar. I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds bad. Truekin, high starting attributes, which sounds good. Access to cybernetics. 20 bonus skill points each level. Wow. Bonus resistances based on Arcology of Origin. Based on Arcology of Origin, and may rebuke robots. Rebuking robots sounds like a good thing, but I'm gonna go with mutated human. Now the tutorial starts you out with a Marshtar, and the character creation screen does say that it's the most survivable starting build. Let's just quickly go through our options here. Alright, so Marshtar is a charge-based melee fighter, ability to freeze enemies, highly maneuverable, and the most survivable starting build. So that sounds good. Dream Tortoise is a melee fighter, highly armored, so double-edged sword there. I was killed by rock-throwing baboons in my first playthrough. So a melee fighter might not be good for that, but being heavily armored may have made that a survivable scenario. Emits sleep gas to disable enemies. Okay, highly survivable, so not bad. Not as survivable as Marshtar, but still pretty good. Gunwing, primarily ranged fighter. I do like ranged fighting generally. Quick and maneuverable. Flies can always be good. Flying. Highly survivable starting build. Okay. Star-Eyed Esper. Oh, that is look at that sprite. That is a cool design on that. I've not taken a close look at these since, I don't know, probably a couple years ago is when I first heard about Caves of Qud from the Ranged Touch, probably from the Shelved by Genre podcast when they were doing their Book of the New Sun Gene Wolfe unit. They talked a lot about Caves of Qud, and it's sort of the influence it takes from Book of the New Sun and sort of the similar things they're doing with what Jason Greenblatt calls the layer cake of history. Mental-based ranged fighter, effective crowd control and map vision, medium survivable starting build. Okay, after I have a handle on the game, I think that could be a really cool one to try out. Fire Frond, hybrid melee fighter and mental caster, ability to set enemies on fire, always good. Causes harvestable plants to grow nearby. Challenging starting build. Okay, so does this gotta remind you of those, oh shoot, what are they called? In Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, the guys who are like dancing around up in the air and they have the elemental wands. I don't remember. They're not Poes. They're not Poes because Poes are the little spirit flame things that you can collect in the depths in Tears of the Kingdom. But they kind of look like the Poes from Ocarina of Time. Ah, well, it doesn't matter. Bzzzt. Bzzzt. Hybrid melee fighter and electrical attacker, burrower and trap setter. Starts with night vision, challenging starting build. Alright, so that all sounds cool, but I'm gonna go with Marshtar. Alright, so we've got strength of 22, agility 18, toughness 18, 14 intelligence, willpower 16, and ego 16. I don't know what any of these stats do.